Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. So this may well be the last video of the year. So if it is, I hope you had a phenomenal Christmas and I hope that you are going to have a fab New Year's and a fab 2018. So what I thought I would do as my last video of the year, as it's very fitting, is that I would talk you through all of my favourite products of the year and some of the biggest fails of the year of 2017. So here are all of my things that I have loved this year, that I have either discovered this year or that were new out this year. Either way, they were new to me this year and they have become my all-time favourites. So let's get started. I wish I had done some more organisation before I got started. That's my first regret of the video. So I'm going to start off with like the non-makeup items because there's only a few of those, and the first is this Clinique Repairwear Laser Focus. Now if you've watched a lot of my videos you will know that I'm really fickle when it comes to skincare. Like I'm always changing it. If it doesn't immediately make me look 10 years younger, I don't repurchase it, I'm on to the next thing. So if I don't notice by the time I've got through something and I haven't noticed a difference, then it's on to the next one. So this, I have not used it up yet, but I am close to using it up. And for sure, when I get through this, I am purchasing an immediate replacement. So this is a wrinkle correcting eye cream, and I bought this because it was really bothering me. My these are smile lines, these are laughter lines, right? Crow's feet, as we call them in the UK. So yeah, I bought this because I was like really looking for a cream that was going to make a big difference to these lines around my eyes. I was always really bothered by them if I was like smiling a lot in photos and things like that. It was always the first thing that I noticed. It's like kind of my first aging sign that I've really been aware of. So I did a lot of Googling, a lot of research online to find like a cream that I could afford, that was affordable for my budget, but was really going to do something about those, really help those. And I really do think that this has made a big difference. They are still there, they haven't gone miraculously, but I definitely noticed an improvement and a decent improvement with this. So I would 100% keep using this, and it's really lasted a long time. You only need a tiny bit, and I just use it under the eyes and then the excess up onto the lid. And yeah, I use it morning and night. I just use it in the morning because at night I have too much other stuff going on in my skincare routine, but obviously you're supposed to use it twice a day. But yeah, even just using it once a day, I've really noticed a big difference, so strongly recommend. Next up, my Lanolin nipple cream, which is not for my nipples, we're not going there. This is what I use on my lips overnight, and also if I'm just really having a very dry lip day, I'll put it on in the day because it is very thick. But it is so good, even in this really, really cold weather that we're having, and with my heating on all of the time, and all of those other things that I test my lips with, liquid lipsticks, etc. This, overnight, my lips are just back to like smooth, moisturized, no chapping. By the morning, it is so good, really soothing. So yeah, I really recommend this. It's really affordable, really good. Just lanolin, just pure lanolin. Next up on the non-makeup items is this Umberto Giannini supermodel shape. Now, it's not going to give you a supermodel shape just for the hair, just an FYI. So this is a flawless hold styling spray, and you can use this, I think, on wet or dry hair, yes. So you either spray it on damp hair before you blow dry for like extra hold, or how I use this is on dry hair when I'm curling it, or just if I'm trying to look for extra body. So if I'm doing like today, I've just sprayed it on my roots with some body and some hold. If I'm doing a swept back style, I will like spray this into like damp hair and then blow dry, and it is just so good. It's heat protecting as well. It smells like the most beautiful perfume you've ever smelled in your life. And it just is really, really flexible. You can just brush it out. So it's like a flexible hold hairspray basically, but it's really easy to spray in where you want it and target it into the roots. It's kind of like an alternative for like, you know, root lifting spray or a mousse. It kind of does everything in one can, I find, and smells gorgeous. So last but not least on the kind of not makeup things are these L'Oreal nail varnishes. I had to look for the word then. Nail varnishes. So I have 3 now, and I'm just buying new ones of these all the time. I just find them the most gorgeous colours. You get a really decent amount in there. They're really opaque with like 1 coat, and they dry really quickly. I just love all of the colours. I really like the packaging is really cute, and they're really obviously affordable for the drugstore, and I'm just literally every time I go into my Boots I'm picking up a new one. I really love them. I guess I'm kind of going in no particular order from now on. It's just all the makeup. So first of all, foundations. There have been 3 foundations that I have discovered that I think they're all new out this year, and I've been obsessed. So first up is the Fenty. Absolutely love this. This is kind of as heavy as I want my foundation ever to be. So this is like if I'm going all in, like a night out or just a really full makeup, full glam day, this is what I reach for. Absolutely love it. It's beautiful, very easy to work with. I found my perfect shade. I was using 260 when I was more tan, and I've just gone down to using 210 now that I am kind of in my fairest skin. I also have been obsessed this year with the Clinique Even Better Glow. So this is more like my everyday work, no makeup or very light makeup, really glowy, really dewy, beautiful finish. And my absolute obsession is mixing these 2 together. So this one is quite matte, this one is very dewy, this one like a light to medium coverage, this one medium to full. Together, everything. I've managed to find a really good match in both these foundations, which, as you know, makes such a big difference to how you feel about a foundation. And then my drugstore obsession this year has been the L'Oreal Age Perfect Anti-Aging Radiant Foundation. I think this is beautiful. This is kind of similar to the combination of these 2. I just don't love the finish as much, but for an affordable foundation, this is 100% my drugstore holy grail. I guess I should have started with this, but this is the Fenty primer. Immediately within a couple of uses of this became my holy grail primer of all time. It's very smoothing, it feels really nice on the skin. I have normal skin, no real oiliness, anything like that, and I didn't think this was going to be for me because I felt like the Fenty line was very much targeted to oily skin, and I don't have oily skin, so I thought this was going to be very drying, but it's just lovely, really creamy, really rich, very smoothing, looks very airbrushed. And I found that there's a lot of foundations that I don't really like or didn't previously like, that with this as the primer I suddenly find beautiful. That's magic. This is the Charlotte Tilbury contour wand. I mean, I never thought I would be like cream contouring on a regular basis, but this has just made it so quick, so easy, and it looks so natural. I absolutely love it. I never use powder contour anymore. I just find this so quick, such an easy set to add in, and it just blends so easy, but it looks so natural. The color is perfect. It's lasted, this was my thing when I did my review on this, I was like, the one thing that is going to put me off this is if it literally lasts me like a month, but it is still going. I've had it a good few months now, and I use it at least 3 times a week. So yeah, it's got some good lasting on there as well. Not a new product, but a new product to me is the Chanel Soleil Tan de Chanel. So I reviewed this a while back when I first got it, and it is so different to me because I'm usually go really ham on my bronzer. I really like a sort of really strong bronzer. I really like to bronze up my skin, but this, now that I am fairer, is so natural, so light, you can't really go heavy-handed with it, so it does stop me from going overboard, you know, by accident with my bronzer, and it's just almost undetectable on the skin because it is a cream. It's not adding more powderyness to your skin, so it doesn't look as heavy, and it is just really beautiful on the skin. Really, for me, worth the money, and just the smell. Summer, it's literally summer holiday. So as you all know, blushes are my thing. They are my obsession, my thing. I have 2 affordable blushes that have rocked my world this year. First one is the L'Oreal Age Perfect, and this is in the shade Amber. Yes, Amber, and this is what I've got on my cheeks today. I mean, the packaging does feel very cheap, very light, but I really appreciate the mirror. It came with a brush, which immediately went in the bin. But yeah, it's a satin finish, which I find to be really luminous, but not shimmery, not sparkly, just really natural and just a hint of something. It just is not going to ever fight against any of your other makeup. As you can see, it's just so natural, just a touch of like glow and just health to the skin. It really wakes up the face, if you see what I'm saying. Next up, the Asos blush in the shade Unbothered. I just love this. This packaging I really love. It feels really heavy, really solid. I really like the magnetic close. It's got a really good sized mirror, and it's just this gorgeous peachy shade. And similarly to the L'Oreal, it is just really luminous, really subtle. Again, not shimmery, not glittery, just glowy. So this is the Asos and this is the L'Oreal. Both just have that gorgeous luminous finish that I love in a blush. This one's just a lot more peachy and this one's a lot more neutral, but just really for every day, they are perfect and obviously really affordable. And then a couple of my MAC blushes that have like rocked my world this year. The first one being Swiss Chocolate, which is this one right here, and just the most gorgeous, obviously, chocolate blush that I love to use in my crease as an eyeshadow, and then I use it with a very, very light hand on my cheeks, and it just gives me this gorgeous chocolate warmth to the skin. I love blushes that you can also put in your crease because I just think it ties your whole look together and it just makes it like one less product that you need to bring with you, if you know what I mean. And the second one that has rocked my world this year is MAC's Cantaloupe, which is this one right here. This one just has this really unique finish, just so much luminosity. Running out of space on my hand, but I'm just going to put it here. I mean, in a million years it's not going to show up on camera, but it is just really light reflecting and luminous. Again, no glitter, no shimmer, but just really beautiful peachy nude. It's kind of, this one, Cantaloupe, is kind of a mixture between my two affordable blushes. It gives this sort of peachy nude, really reflective, beautiful, gorgeous on the cheeks, very natural blush. So those have been like my 4 blushes. Sorry there was 4, but blush is my thing. Next up, highlight, and there is only one for me, one and done. This is MAC's Whisper of Guilt from the Snowball collection. I've really struggled to use any other highlighters since I picked this up. It is just everything. Obviously the packaging is everything. This highlighter is everything. It is just, I mean, look at that. It just glistens. It's, again, really wet. You can really make it very natural. I feel like it's the perfect shade for my skin tone because it doesn't leave like, you know, a stripe. It just really blends out, but it's just so glowy, so luminous. I thought it was going to be glittery and it is not. I've also find it really like not to emphasize texture, which again, I really thought that it would. So palettes. Literally palette of the year for me. I don't think this was new out this year, but it was new to me this year. And this is the Charlotte Tilbury Instant Look in a palette. So if you don't know about Charlotte Tilbury, you need to know that she is expensive, but amazing. The packaging is just gorgeous. You have 3 eyeshadows, a bronzer, a highlight, and like 2 blushes. They're supposed to be used together, but obviously you can use them separate or together, however you want. You know, your bronzer it looks really light, but it is perfect for like my skin tones and probably up to like an NC 30 to 35. Deeper than that, and it's going to be very, very subtle. The highlight is so much more beautiful than I expected it to be, so much more popping than I expected it to be. Eyeshadows, I mean, you've only got 3, but you could also use these as eyeshadows, and you can use these, and you can obviously use this on your brow bone or in your inner corner. So it literally is just the perfect. Look at the size of the mirror. It's basically the size of my head. This is everything to travel with. Really sturdy packaging, so everything is safe in there. I just love it for like a weekend away or traveling or going away with work, because you can really make it natural or like a night out depending on what your requirements are, and it's literally everything you need. This, mascara, foundation, you're good to go. Eyeshadows. Now, I was torn as to whether to include this or not, to be honest with you, because it is limited edition and I know lots of people weren't able to get it, but I can't lie to you, it's changed my life. So this is the MAC Stylishly Merry, and this is also from the Snowball collection, and it is just... If you watched my haul video where I picked this up, you'll know that I only got this because everyone was raving about it so much in the US, and it came out before it came out in the UK. What am I trying to say? It came out in the US before it came out in the UK. So I was seeing all these people in the US flipping out over it. And I thought, I'm just gonna get it because everyone seems to say it's like the best eyeshadow ever. If you look at it, now on camera, it's looking very pink, but in person to me, it's just looking a very yellow gold when you look at it directly in. But this is what it looks like on the lid, is this sort of iridescent pink, and as it catches the light, it goes that sort of goldy shift that you might just be able to see now. It is just the strangest, most beautiful, most unique shadow. It is so shimmery, but doesn't really give me any fallout, and you just need the tiniest amount, which thank God, because I'm apparently never going to be able to get another one. And next up, a much more findable item, and this is the Stila Shimmer and Glow. Now, I have the set of 6 of these, but this is Grace, and this is my absolute favorite. I have it on my lids today. When I got these, I didn't know what to expect. I had the Glitter and Glow, and I really like those, but they are a little tricky to work with. You have to like pack them on as your last thing and then do not touch them ever again. So I didn't know how these were gonna go. They do not crease. They do not settle into lines. They do not smudge. And if you go in, so I don't tend to I'll do my eye look, then I'll put this on the lid and then leave it for like a couple of seconds, and then I'll blend it just at the edges. And it actually blends. And I thought it'd either come off or it wouldn't move. But if you just sort of give it a couple of seconds to just dry slightly and then go in, it can just smudge the edges enough for it to be blended. They're beautiful, beautiful, really easy to work with, a lot easier than the Glitter and Glow. And like if you struggle to do like a cut crease, this is gonna make your life so much easier, these little things. I also love the shade Kitten Is Everything. In my Christmas tutorial, I used the red shade, I forget what it's called, but they are just all gorgeous. And I just hope they come out with more and more and more shades, although they are expensive. And while we're on shadow, the 39A. Bye-bye. I thought my camera was going to lose focus then, but it's too quick for me. So yeah, this is the Morphe 39A. This is my first ever Morphe palette, and I have been obsessed with it. I've never really wanted a Morphe palette before because I always think they're like so many shades in there that are the same. It's so big. I'm never going to use half the shades. But this one, I mean, you've got your pinks, your purples, your greens, your blues, lots of neutrals. You've got cool tones, warm tones, lots of mattes, but a decent number of shimmers. And I love these big pans of transition shades. It's just everything. Literally feel like you will never need another eyeshadow if you have that palette, and it's actually all usable. There is no shades in there that I'd be like, I'm never going to use those. There's maybe 2 or 3 blues and things like that that I'm not going to really use on a regular basis, but there is like very few for like 39 shades to like have hardly any that are unusable or like just, you know, duds. Is very unusual. So I feel like that palette, they nailed it. And for such an affordable price for that many shadows, it's like a winner, a winner. I did not see this happening to me. This is the Lancome Monsieur Big mascara. Now, I'm a big advocate for a drugstore mascara. Until this year, I did not see me ever changing away from my Lash Sensational by Maybelline, which I still love. I still have a place for, but this just came and smashed it out the water. Literally one coat for these lashes today, one coat. and I feel like this would have took me 3 with my Lash Sensational. I've had it for like 2 months now and it's still going. It hasn't dried out. The performance hasn't really changed, maybe slightly, getting slightly sort of drier now, but it is amazing. It doesn't smudge, makes your lashes massive and fat with like 1 to maybe 2 coats. I've never done 3 and I am like a 3 to 4 girl normally. It is just amazing. Totally worth the hype, totally worth the money. Amazing mascara. And now to lip products. So I have all 3 of these lip products. I just had to do my maths. All 3 of these lip products are my lips, and these have been my absolute go-tos this year. So starting off with the oldest but the bestest, this is MAC's Driftwood. Now my friend bought me this for my birthday, which is the end of January, and it is nearly gone. This is how much I have loved this lipstick. So I've got it on today. It's the perfect mauve or mauve, depending on where you're from, shade every day. You could, like I have today, go in with a lip liner and gloss and like make it a bit more special, I guess, or you can just have it by itself, and it's so creamy and moisturizing. The formula is everything, and it is just perfect for every day, perfect for work, but like I said, you can sort of funk it up with some liner or some gloss, and it can be a night out as well. It is just so wearable. I love it, and the formula is so conditioning and moisturizing on the lips. I love it with the Lip Tensity pencil in Galaxy Grey. There is actually a Driftwood one, but I prefer this one because it's just a bit deeper, whereas the actual Driftwood liner is like the same, and I want it to be deeper when using the liner. This liner is so creamy, so smooth, it glides on the lips. I love this liner. I feel like the formula again for these liners was a massive win for MAC. And then last but not least, this lip gloss, which is the shade Oyster Girl. Now, I was looking for a lip gloss that could literally go on top of anything and just give me a glossy lip. I didn't necessarily want it to be clear, just wanted to have a hint of something, and this is it. If you're looking for that, this is it. I was kind of put off because it's quite pink. And I thought I want this to go on a nude lip, but luckily the day I went into MAC, the girl working there had a nude lip on with this over the top, and she was like, it's such a subtle pink. And that is that oyster shift to it, that it can go on top of any shade, and it just gives you a really gleaming, beautiful, luscious, glossy lip. And then my favorite liquid lip of the year, which again, if I've gone for a liquid lip, this is the lip I've been wearing, and this is Dose of Colours Rosebud. And it is just, again, it's very similar to this shade that I'm wearing right now, just this gorgeous, soft, girly, feminine, pretty shade, perfect for like those feminine, sort of subtle, softer looks. I love it for every day. It's really long lasting. I love the Dose of Colours formula. It is beautiful. So last but not least, brushes. So I'm only including brushes this year that have literally like changed my makeup life. Not just a good brush, a life-changing brush. So first of all, we have the Morphe G3, and this is like a buffing kind of brush, quite dense, quite narrow, and I use this for my cream contour, which has, because of the Charlotte Tilbury one, become quite a regular step in my makeup routine, and I love using this to buff it out. I find it helps me control the contour without, like, to blend the contour without it moving too much, because I can press it in like you would a beauty blender, but I can also buff into the skin and buff up, and it doesn't travel too far. It doesn't take as much of the product as a beauty blender does, so I don't lose as much product with the brush, so I end up with like a stronger result if I use this, and if I want a softer result, I can go in with my beauty blender afterwards, and that way I don't lose as much of the product. But it's just the perfect size, shape, and like feel for cream contour. I love it, can't recommend it enough. I've always struggled with my blush, always struggled to get it to not be too strong, to not go too heavy-handed with blush, and this brush from the day it arrived, this is the Dose of Colours Powder Blush Brush, has literally stopped me from over-applying my blush. It has made it so simple to get it in the right place and the right amount, so soft, and then easy to build it up. It's just gorgeous, really affordable brush. It was half price on Beauty Bay, and it's just the softest, loveliest brush. And it literally does my blush for me, puts it in the right place, gives me the right amount of product so I don't overload, and it has just literally changed my makeup game. Changed it. And the final product of 2017 for my winners, that is, this is the Zoeva 225 Luxe Eye Blender. Now, as you can see, it's going to be hard to kind of see the size of this, but what this has done for me, so I always used to use my blending brush with my, my first shadow, and then I'd also use the same big blending brush for like my next shade, and sometimes also to blend out my crease, which ultimately would always mean that my kind of second or third colours travelled too high up my lid, too high towards the brow, and I was really like struggling with that, like to keep it focused in the crease, especially if I was doing like a cut crease or a soft crease. That was really an issue for me. So what I was trying to find was a brush that was like really good at blending, really good at applying shadow in this crease area, but was going to be small enough that I could blend it throughout the crease without it traveling up and up and up. And this is it. This is it. This has changed my life. This has helped me with my cut creases. This has just helped me make a softer blend. And it is just the absolute perfect crease brush for like more detailed work. It's almost small enough as well that you can use it under the lower lash line if you want quite a smoked out effect, but just a really good quality brush and a really useful brush because it is the perfect size for that crease. So that is it for my favourites of the year, and now for some of my fails. Number one fail for me this year was the NARS liquid blush. I so wanted this to work. I love the shade of this. I have mine in Luster. I mean, you can already see the mess that it gets into. So yeah, I have the shade Luster. I love the shade of it, but it is just so hard to work with. So, you know, I am kind of using up just because one, I can't just throw things away, especially not when they cost like £23. It's a really pretty shade, but I just really struggle with the application. I feel like it takes my makeup off underneath it no matter how I use it. If I use it with a finger and I'm really, really careful, that is probably the best way to go with this, but I just really don't like using my hands to apply makeup, and I don't feel like I should have to when it's a blush. I want to use either a sponge or, you know, a stippling brush, which is the second method that I use, but I just feel like it takes my makeup off. It never blends that well. It's a beautiful colour and a finish, which is a real shame, and I feel like it's a really good idea because you get a lot of product for your money, but it's just not quite working for me. Next up, one of the most disappointing purchases of the year for me, and that is the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Powder. I love this foundation, but this powder does not work for me. I don't understand it. I thought this was going to be amazing, but it just isn't. I thought it was going to be a really luminous powder, which is what I was looking for, but it's just, to me, it's just a regular powder. It's very, very heavy. I don't like how it looks on the skin. It doesn't really do anything for me. I'm just really confused, and it was very expensive. Next up, one of the worst fails for me of the year is the Balmain by L'Oreal lipstick in the shade Freedom. I don't know what the others are like. Maybe the others are better, but there's a few problems. It looks gorgeous in the pan, but the colour does not translate. It's very sheer. It's a lot lighter in person. On my lips, it goes on really, really patchy and just really unimpressive. But the biggest issue is that when you twist this lipstick back into its container, it grinds against the container and actually breaks the lipstick, as you can see there. So obviously that was a massive disappointment and a massive fail, because I felt like the marketing made it look really, really beautiful and a really lovely shade, but then it really wasn't. It really wasn't. I know I'm alone in this. This is Benefit's Goof Proof, which I originally used to love. However, the issue I have with this is that once you have used like the initial time and it's starting to like not be as sharp as it was. Like when I first got this, what I loved about it was how sharp it was, and it got you really could carve out your brow. Whereas once you've used it a few times and it's blunt, it is supposed to be self-sharpening. So you're supposed to twist it back in, and you hear that? That's supposed to sharpen it, but it does not. It does not sharpen it. It stays forever blunt, and then it's a really strange shape, a really blunt shape, and it makes my brows look really smudged and just not good. I can't draw lines with it, and now that I've had it a little while, it's gone quite hard as well. It's just not worked out for me. Next up, the Rimmel Lasting Finish Breathable 25-Hour Foundation. A few issues with this. I've got a review up if you want to know all of the ins and outs of it. The number one thing was the shade. I picked up the darkest shade that they had in the store, and it was too light for me, which I found ridiculous. I hate the applicator. It's really, really weird. Giant doe foot. It's got a very strong smell. It claims to be 25-hour wearing and was, fading on me by the 8-hour mark, which I find irritating. And yeah, I just didn't find anything like special about it at all. And next up, the L'Oreal Age Perfect BB cream. Now, someone on my review of this actually told me that this is being marketed wrong, and it's actually supposed to be like an illuminator. So I am going to give this another go. I'm going to kind of maybe either mix it in with my foundation or use it as a primer and see, because it's supposed to be like age perfecting. So maybe as a primer that will work really nicely as a luminous primer. But as they're marketing it as a BB cream, it's completely useless. So that's all I can really say is, one, very confused by the fact that apparently it's an illuminator but they're called it a BB cream, and two, by the fact that it does nothing as a BB cream. So for those two reasons, it's a fail for me. The last fail, but definitely not the least fail, because it was probably one of my biggest disappointments of my whole life, and this is the MAC Kabuki Magic a retro matte liquid lip colour in the shade Fallen Angel. Now in the package, this looks like everything. Berry, red, gorgeous, deep, rich liquid lip. Unfortunately, the formula of this is awful. I don't know if it's really going to show on my hand, but it is so patchy. It is impossible to get an even application of this. I've tried everything because I love the shade. It smells really funky, and I literally have tried everything to get this to work and look nice on the lips. I was going to say on the skin, on the lips. But it just doesn't. It's so patchy, it's so uneven. I cannot get a good application out of it, whatever I try, and so disappointing because I think the colour is gorgeous, but I always just end up taking it off and putting something else on because I can never get it to look nice on my lips. It's so sad. So that is it. That is everything that I have loved and hated in the year 2017. I'd love to know what you discovered this year and what didn't work out for you. I said at the beginning, please have an amazing new year, and I will see you in 2018. Don't forget to like and subscribe before you go. Bye 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 for now.